Well, today we're going to take a look at the strategy for the year-round tropical. We just ended up, I put out the lights on the palms. You can see here how we do it. Just put the incandescent Christmas lights on the palms, and we'll take a look at those at night here. But, well, here's the nighttime view of some of the lights, and we'll try to keep this going as long as possible. We should be able to keep this going to at least probably in January. Hopefully, windmill palms here won't have to be covered this year, but we'll see how it goes. But here's how the lights look at night. Anyway, we wrap a few extras around the crown up here, around the spear. And that's the way we're going to leave the palms, unless it looks like it's going to get really cold. Then we'll tie them up, and if it's going to go below 10 is where we would have a little bit of issue with some of the palms, at least these windmill palms. And that only happens about 50% of the time, about half the time here in where we're at in Middle Tennessee. Otherwise, the palms will stay out and everything will look just like this. For the most part, our year-round tropical is going really well. Our bamboo, don't have to do anything to it. Potted bamboo went down to -6, -11, whatever you want to call it, last year, no problem. Fatsia, still experimenting with it. I think it'll take down to about 0, but if it does kill it to the ground below that, it'll come back. You can see these things blooming like crazy. Cuba japonica. These things are tough as nails. They took the -6 unprotected and didn't have any problems. Got cast iron plants. They're part of our plan to keep green year-round. Christmas ferns stay green year-round. They get a little ugly during the winter, but another cast iron plant and Fatsia. Anyway, we've pretty much hit our what we're wanting to do with our year-round tropical. That's we're going to leave all these palms out. Sable miners will probably be unprotected for the most part. Or, I mean, they will. We're not going to protect them anymore. They went through -6, no problem, just some spotting. And most years it never gets nearly that cold. Brazoria palm, don't think we'll have to protect it, very rarely. If it goes under maybe 0, maybe we'll think about it, but that's like a very rare occurrence here. Really the only two things here that are going to be question mark and always have to be wrapped up some, especially the most, is the mule palm, which has to be wrapped up when temperatures look like it's going to fall for sure down below 20, down into the high to mid-teens. Then we'll have to think about doing something. We'll probably just do a partial wrap on it this year is what I'm thinking we're going to do. And I already got the lights on it up pretty high. We might add a little pole up through the middle, have some lights on it to go higher, because that's about as high as I can reach with a ladder where the lights are up there. That's getting on up there fairly high. And we got our Butia, which we'll have to do something to. But these other palms you see here, like this Sable Miner, won't have to do anything to. Got a Sable Birmingham here, which I would like to make sure it stays good and healthy. So if it does get down really low, I'll probably put a spotlight or something on it and a cover if it gets down below 5. But it's probably not going to do that. Down below 5 is probably just like 10% of the years here. Needle palms, no problem. Don't have to worry about them. We're not going to cover them. And we got the only thing, it's another question mark, this recently transplanted palm here that we moved. Looks like it's doing okay, but we want to make sure it lives. And so it's probably a little bit more sensitive. And so we might cover it if it gets, well, we'll for sure cover it if it goes below 10. But we'll just have to take a look, see what we want to do with it. But otherwise, we're probably going to let it stay out too. Only other thing that we for sure have to cover probably every year is this Butia. This thing is very large, and we'll have to cut a few more fronds off of it, tie it up, cover it. But it's not too bad to cover there. And that usually has to be covered by about the middle of December. So we'll probably cover it up here, but that's we don't see that when we look out our windows of our house, so it's not too bad. So the goal is to keep everything we see out our windows green as much as possible. And so what we do is, like I said, we put these Christmas lights on it first, so you have like a festive atmosphere for a long time. And then if it does get down to cold enough to do it, wrap these things. We can wrap them up last minute. You just got to be a little careful with that and make sure that you don't, try to do it when it's snowing or ice or that sort of thing. You got to be really watch the weather and stay on top of it. And so that's the way I like to do it here, is keep everything out as long as possible. And we got pretty good odds, this year. I don't want to jinx it, but of going through the year with the windmill palms out this year. That's what we do a lot of years. We don't even have to cover them. And so Sable Miners, not going to be covered. Needle palms, not going to be covered. A couple, 2 or 3 of the Sable Louisiana and the Sable Birminghams we might cover if it goes below 5 or 0, just to make sure we keep them as pretty as possible. And of course here our big Sable Louisiana, we'll probably put a spotlight on it if it goes down below 5 as well. But that gives you an idea. We still have all the tropical plants. Nothing, frost hasn't hit here this year. Some years ago, all the way through partway in December before a hard frost hits it. A light frost, when you have thick tropical vegetation, it only gets a little bit of it, so it has to get down to about 28 degrees to really knock everything back to the ground. We haven't had that yet. So anyway, that's what we're looking at this year. And just to give you a little update on what we're thinking about, how we're going to protect stuff, and we'll see everybody later.